Fortunately, to acquire rationality is not complicated. Oh, no, it's not. I think I'm here. Step 3. Strategies toward bringing out the rational self. First and foremost, its existence through history and in all cultures of people of high rationality, the types who have made the progress possible. Warren Buffett, to name but a few. All of these types share certain qualities: a realistic appraisal of themselves and their weaknesses, a devotion to truth and reality, a tolerant attitude toward the people, and the ability to reach goals that they have set. The second factor is that almost all of us, at some point in our lives, have experienced moments of greater rationality. This often comes with what we shall call the maker's mindset. We have a project to get done, perhaps with a deadline. The only emotion we can afford is excitement and energy. Other emotions simply makes it impossible to concentrate. Because we have to get results, we become exceptionally practical. We focus on the work, our mind calm, and our ego not intruding. If people try to interrupt or infect us with our emotion, we resent it. These moments, as fleeting as few weeks or hours, reveal the rational self that is waiting to come out. It just requires some awareness and practice. Know yourself thoroughly. The emotional self thrives on ignorance. The moment you are aware of how it operates and dominates you is the moment it loses its hold on you and can be tamed. Therefore, your first step toward rational is always inward. You want to catch that emotional self in action. For this purpose, you must reflect on how you operate under stress, what particular weaknesses come out in such moments, the desire to please, to bully or control, deep levels of mistrust. Look at your decisions, especially those that have been ineffective. Can you see a pattern along the line, insecurities that impose them? Examine your strengths and what makes you different from other people. This will help you decide upon goals that match with your long-term interest and that are aligned with your skills. By knowing and valuing what makes you as different, you'll also be able to resist the pull of the group bias and effect. Examine your emotions to their roots. You're angry. Let the feelings out from within and think about it. Was it triggered by something seemingly trivial or petty? That is a sure sign that something or someone else is behind it. Perhaps the more uncomfortable emotion is the source, such as envy or paranoia. You need to look at the square in the eye, dig below any trigger point to see where they started. For these purposes, it might be wise to use a journal in which you record your self-assessments with the ruthless subjectivity. Your greatest danger is your ego and how it makes you unconsciously maintain illusions about yourself. These may be comforting in the moment, but in the long run, you make it defensive and unable to learn or progress. Find a neutral position from which you can observe your actions with a bit of detachment and even humor. Soon all of this will become second nature, and when the emotional self suddenly raises its head in some situation, you will see it as it happens and be able to step back and find a neutral position. Increase your reaction time. This power comes through practice and repetition. When some event or interaction requires a response, you must train yourself to step back. This could mean physically moving yourself to a place where you can be alone and not feel any pressure to respond. Or it could mean writing that angry mail but not sending it. Use ceremony for there too. You do not make phone calls and communicate while you're feeling some sudden emotion, particularly resentment. If you find yourself rushing to commit to people, to hire or be hired by them, step back and give it a day. Cool the emotions down. The longer you can take, the better, because perspective comes with time. Consider this like a resistance training. The longer you can resist reacting, the more mental space you have for actual repression, and the stronger your mind will become. Accept the people as fact. Interactions with people are a major source of emotional turmoil. But it doesn't have to be that way. The problem is that we are continually judging people, wishing they were not something, not that they're not. Focus, Irene, focus. We want to change them. We want them to think and act in a certain way. Most often the way we think and act. And because this is not possible, because everyone is different, we are continually frustrated and upset. Instead of see other people's phenomena as neutral, as comets or plants, they simply exist. They come in all varieties, making life rich and interesting. Work with what you give you, instead of resisting and trying to change them. Make understanding people a fun game, the solving the puzzles. It is a part of the human comedy. Yes, people are irrational, but so are you. Make your acceptance of human nature as radical as possible. This will calm you down and help you observe people more passionately, understanding them on a deeper level. You will stop projecting your own emotions onto them. All of this will give you more balance and a calmness and a more mental space for thinking. Find the optimal balance in thinking and emotion. We cannot divorce emotions from thinking. The two are completely intertwined, but there is inevitably a dominant factor. Some people are more clearly governed by emotions than others. Irene, focus. The horses that are emotional nature continue impelling to us move. This horse has tremendous energy of power, and without the rider, it cannot be guided. It is wild, subject to predators, and continually heading into trouble. The rider is in a thinking self. Through training and practice, he holds the reins and guides the horse, transforming this powerful animal energy into something productive. The one without the other is useless. Without the rider, no direct movement or purpose. Without the horse, no energy, no power. The most of people, the horse dominates and the rider is weak. Instead of being slaves to this energy, we channel it. That is the essence of rationality. As an example of this idea in action, try to maintain a perfect balance between skepticism and curiosity. The two can coexist. It is a balance that all geniuses possess. You have felt this in your own life when studying a project, time flying by, and experiencing occasional bursts of excitement as you make discoveries or progress in your work. There are other pleasures as well. Being able to tame the emotional self leads to an overall calmness and clarity. In this state of mind, you are less consumed by petty conflicts and considerations. Your actions are more effective, which also leads to the less turmoil. You have the immense satisfaction of mastering yourself in a deep way. You have the more mental space to be creative. You feel more in control.